All right, guys, if you notice, I have some highlighted with numbers next to them, stuff like that. That's the question type that's going to be on and how many of them that there will be. There's going to be 10 questions total. 10 questions total. Very serious. 10 questions total. So you need to know how to do all the different types that I'm talking about. So something like this. This is a piecewise function. If you did not watch the video, here is an abridged version of what this means, okay? You have one of these. They're going to tell you to find f of -2. This is called function notation. This is just a different way of saying y, right? So they're saying plug in -2 to one of these expressions and see what your answer is. How do you know which expression to plug it into? Well, these two things are called parameters right here. It depends on the number that they give you. They gave me -2 to plug in. So I look at those two inequalities. Is -2 less than 0, or is it greater than or equal to 0? It's less than 0, so we're going to use this top expression to evaluate. I'm using x plus 1, and the reason why is the number they want us to plug in is less than 0. Does that make sense? So we're going to say, okay, instead of x, I'm going to plug in -2 plus 1. What is -2 plus 1? -1. That's the answer. That's it. That's it. You could write it as f of -2. When I plug in -2, I get out -1. You could also see that written as an ordered pair. If your x is -2, then your y is -1. But I'm totally fine with you guys just doing that. So now that we just explained that, here are my two parameters, my two little guidelines. They want me to plug in 12. So which expression am I going to use? Where does 12 fall? Is 12 less than 0, or is 12 greater than or equal to 0? It's the bottom one. It's greater than or equal to. So I'm going to write that expression, 2x plus 5, and I'm going to plug in what number for x? 12. So 2 times 12 plus 5. What's 2 times 12? 24, and 24 plus 5 is 29. That's it. All right, super, super straightforward, very basic. There'll be one like that. Then there's going to be one like this. There's no parameters or anything like that. What do they want you to do? Plug this expression, x minus 4, into all of the x's you see. Guys, this is just an algebra question. Instead of x squared, I'm going to write x minus 4, and then I have my squared. Then I have minus, what do they want me to put instead of x? X minus 4. Perfect. And then you just FOIL and stuff. When I have x minus 4, yeah.
So like that little g of x.
That's just the name of it. Like f of x, g of x, h of x. It's just a way to name a different function. So this really means x minus 4 times x minus 4, right? Right? X minus 4 squared. And then what do I have to do with this negative here? Distribute it. So it's minus x plus 4. So if we FOIL this, what's x times x? X squared. What's x times -4? Minus 4x. What's -4 times x? Minus 4x. What's -4 times -4? Plus 16, right? And then I have minus x plus 4. Now you combine like terms. X squared. Does anything else have an x squared? Nope. So I just rewrite x squared. What's my next thing I'm going to look at? The x's. Okay, so I have -4x and another -4x, excuse me. -8. And then minus another one. Perfect. -9x. Then I have a positive 16 and a positive 4. Plus 20. That's it. If they give you an expression, all they want you to do is just plug the entire expression in for each of the x's that you see. So there's one of those. That make sense? Let's go to the next one. You will have one graphing problem. Just one. Super basic. In order to graph, you're going to be given an equation. What are the two things that you need to get from the equation? Slope and what? Y-intercept. So in this case, what is the slope for this one? 3/1. And what is your y-intercept? Positive 4. All right. What kind of a line is this? Positive or negative? Positive. So give yourself a little picture. Say, okay, it's sloping upwards. So go to 4 on the y-axis And your slope is 3 over 1. So 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. And then connect your dots. Pretend that's a real straight line. What about this one? Is it already in y equals mx plus b? Okay, perfect. So I don't really even have to think much. What is my slope? Negative 7 over 3. And where does it cross the y-axis? At 2. Guys, this is a negative line. Give yourself a little picture. Which way is it going to slope? Downward. So go to 2 and put a point. And then down 7 over 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3. If you know the direction that your line's supposed to go, you should know once you go up or down, which way to go left or right. I know my line needs to be sloping downward, so that's why I knew after I went down, I went over to the right. Yes, sir.
So like the slope is negative, then it is that.
If it's negative, it just means the line goes that way.
Oh,
That's a negative slope. If it's positive, the line goes that way.
okay.
So that way, when you go up and down, you know whether to go left or right. All right, so that's 3 of the 10 questions right there. Super easy, very straightforward. All right, you're going to have a question right here. It says, write the slope-intercept form of the equation through the line with the given point and slope. All right, what is the slope-intercept form of an equation of a line? That's point slope. What's slope-intercept? Y equals mx plus b, okay? Go ahead and tell me what the point slope one is. Well, that would just be slope. Y on top. The point slope is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. You can use either one of these, but the answer needs to be like this because it says slope-intercept form. So write down what they gave you. They gave you an x, they gave you a y, they gave you an m. So do you have enough information to find the b? Yeah, so go ahead and just plug it in there. What are you going to write?
1 equals 2 times negative 1
Perfect. 2 times negative 1 plus b. So 1 equals negative 2 plus b. How do I get b all by itself? Add 2. So what does b equal? B equals 3. So you have b equals 3. You have your slope. Do you now have all the information you need to write the equation in slope-intercept form? Yes. What is the equation of this line? Y equals 2 is your slope, x plus 3. That's it. Once you have your slope and your y-intercept, you just plug it into this form right here. Your x and y stay as letters. All right, write the what kind of form? Slope-intercept. Write y equals mx plus b. So you remember. Slope-intercept form of the equation through the given points. You're going to have 2 of these kinds. Same exact thing, guys. You need 2 things to write the equation. You need your slope and you need your y-intercept. How can I find the slope if they give me 2 points? Y2 minus y1. I'm going to go ahead and put the points on top of each other so I don't make any silly mistakes. 2, negative 5, and 4, 2. And I'm going to write x on top of here and y on top of here, just so I don't make any mistakes. So it's my y's on top. What do you want to start with? God bless. What do you want to start with? Negative 5 or 2?
2.
Okay, so it's 2 minus what?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. If I started with 2 on the bottom, what do I have to start with? I'm sorry, if I started with 2 on the top, what do I have to start with on the bottom? No. 4. Whatever you start with the y, you have to start with the x. So this is going to be 4 minus 2. So on the top, guys, what happens when you have 2 minus a negative? Becomes plus. So you have 2 plus 5 is 7 over what's 4 minus 2? 2. So what is your slope? 7 over 2. Now we need to find our b. We have 2 different points that we could use. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to use this one. Why am I going to use this one? They're both positive. It's just easier, I think. I'm going to put an x here and a y here. So again, I'm going to go back to y equals mx plus b. What am I going to plug in for y? 2. What am I plugging in for my m? 7 over 2. Times, what am I plugging in for x? 4, so 4 over 1. And then plus b. Can I simplify anything?
It's 14. It's the 7. You can simplify the 7.
Can I simplify the 2 and the 4 right here? Yes. Do I have to? No. What's 7 times 4?
28.
I could say this is 28 divided by 2. What's 28 divided by 2? 14. So you have 2 equals 14 plus b. And then do what? Subtract 14 from both sides. So b equals negative 12. So you have the two things you need in order to write your equation. You have your slope and you have your y-intercept. So how would you write the equation of this line? Y equals what? 7 over 2x minus 12. You're going to have 2 of those where they give you 2 points. You have to find the slope first. And then it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. Either point. You can do point slope form. You can do y equals mx plus b. And you can use either point. But you have to have slope and the y-intercept in order to write your equation of the line. That make sense? You good? Okay, moving along. You're going to have one that they ask you for parallel to and one that they ask you for perpendicular. Why are those 2 words very important? What do you know about parallel lines? Parallel lines have the same slope. So if they give you an equation and they say, hey, write a parallel line to this one, what do I have to do with this first? Because there's 2 things I need in order to write the equation. I have to have the slope and the y-intercept. What do I do with that equation? Yep, I'm going to have to manipulate this equation to get it to be y equals mx plus b so I know what the slope is. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 3x. So I have 2y equals negative 3x plus 2. And then I do what? Divide everything by 2. Good. So y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 1. What is the only thing I need from that? The slope. The negative 3 over 2. So I know the slope I'm going to use to a line that's parallel is the exact same thing. Negative 3 over 2. And then the point that they gave me that this goes through is negative 3, 4. Here's my x. Here's my y. I have the slope. What's the other thing I'm missing? The y-intercept. How do you find that?
You plug the point you have.
We're just going to plug it in. The point I have to y equals mx plus b. What is the y that they gave me? 4. What's the slope? Negative 3 over 2. What's the x? Negative 3 over 1. Good. And then plus b. So 4 equals, what's negative 3 times negative 3? Positive 9. What's 2 times 1? Over 2 plus b. Now I have to get b all by itself. What do I have to do? I'm going to subtract 9 over 2. And I can't subtract 9 over 2 from the whole number 4. So how could I change the whole number 4 so it has a denominator of 2? Right. If I multiply 1 times 2 on the bottom, I have to multiply times 2 on the top, so this becomes 8. So what's 8 minus 9? Negative 1 over 2. So now I have the 2 things I need to write my equation of my line. I have my slope and my y-intercept. So how would I write it? Y equals what? Negative 3 over 2x minus 1/2. Perfect. The hardest part about that, guys, was you had a fraction. We had to add and subtract. Let me show you a little trick. Some of us still are like, oh, I hate fractions. Okay, say we get here 4 equals 9 over 2 plus b. How many of you just don't like fractions? Not a problem. Get rid of the denominator. What would you multiply the entire equation by? 2. So if I do that, distribute. What's 2 times 4?
8.
8 equals, this becomes what?
9.
9 plus 2b. How do you get b all by itself? What's the first thing you would do? Subtract the 9. So you get negative 1 equals 2b. And then what? Divide by 2. b equals what? Negative 1/2. If you want to do that, you're welcome to do that. As soon as you see a denominator, just multiply the whole thing. Get rid of it. That's okay. It'll give you like one extra step to do algebraically, but that's okay.
Can it be a decimal?
Yeah. You want to do 0.5? All right. I'll do this one real quick. The same exact thing. I see the word parallel. What do I think of with parallel? Same slope. Guys, what's so great about this problem right here? There's no fractions. What else? Can I just look at that and say what the slope is? Yeah, it's already in y equals mx plus b. What's the slope that they want me to use? 5 over 1. Good. What's the point that they want me to use? 1 comma 0. So I have y equals mx plus b. Nick, do this. What do I plug in for where?
The y0.
Perfect.
5 over 1 times 1.
Perfect. So 0 equals 5 plus b. How do I get that 5 to move to the other side?
5 over
Subtract it. Wonderful. So your b is negative 5. So here's this, and here's this. Write the equation. God bless. Y equals what?
5 over 1
Mm-hmm.
plus or minus 1.
Perfect. There you go. Wonderful. All right, you're going to have one that's like this. Why is this one different from the last one? What does that mean? Opposite sign. And what do you have to do? You got to flip it. You got to opposite and flip. We'll say a reciprocal slope. So again, here's an equation that they gave us. I can't look at that and just say, oh, the slope is whatever. What do I have to do to get to know what the slope is?
Just put it to y.
Y equals mx plus b. We're going to subtract 6x. So 5y equals negative 6x plus 5. And then what? Divide everything by 5. All right, what is the slope of this line in purple? Negative 6 over 5. But that's not what I want to use. What is the slope that I am going to use? Positive, right? When we have when we have perpendicular, the sign changes and the fraction flips. So negative becomes what? Positive. 6 over 5 becomes 5 over 6. Perfect, guys. That's the major thing behind that question is parallel, same slope, perpendicular, opposite, reciprocal. Here's the lovely point that they want us to use to go through. Here's your x and your y. So I have my slope. I have an x and a y. I'm going to find the y-intercept. So y equals mx plus b. What am I plugging in where? 5 over 6 for m. Okay. Negative 3 here. Negative 3 here. And then plus b. So before you try and get rid of fractions, let's simplify a little bit. So I have negative 3 equals. Can I simplify anything here? Right? This becomes a 2, doesn't it? And this becomes a negative 1. Are we allowed to do that? Yes? Okay. So I have negative 5 over 2 plus b. But I don't like those fractions. I don't want to deal with them. So what am I going to multiply the entire thing by? 2. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 2 here just becomes negative 5 plus 2b. How do I get b all by itself? What's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to add 5. So I have negative 1 equals 2b. And then what? Divide by 2. So your b here equals negative 1/2. So here's the slope I'm using, and here's my b. What's my equation of my line? Perfect.
Do you have to like make it the same denominator, or is it fine like that?
No, that's perfect. That's fine. All right, look at 19. Why is 19 easy? It's already in slope-intercept form. Parallel line, I would use 5/9, but I want the perpendicular line. So what slope am I going to use? Negative 9/5. Perfect. And then I know the point that they want me to use to go through is 5, -4. So y equals mx plus b. What's the y I'm plugging in? -4 equals, what's my slope? Negative 9/5. What's my x? 5. And then plus b. Okay. Okay, so there's two things I could do here. Can I cross out the 5s because one's on top, one's on the bottom? Yes. Or I could multiply. -9 times 5 is -45. Divided by 5 is what? -9. You'll get the same answer. But I'm just going to go ahead and cross that 5 out with that one. So I end up with -4 equals -9 plus b. And then how do I get b all by itself? Add 9 to both sides. So 5 equals b. So here's the slope I need. Okay, so now we have the slope that we need, and we have our y-intercept. So let's write the equation of our line. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals what? -9/5 x plus what? Perfect. Plus 5. Very good. You okay? All right, look at the last thing, right? That's 8. 8 of your 10 questions we just went over. Does anything seem unbelievably difficult? No. All right, the last 2 questions, I don't know what order it is on your test, on your quiz, but the last 2 questions are asking for the what? Slope between 2 points. Do we know an equation that will give us the answer to the slope between 2 points? Slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Guys, this is as easy as it appears. Try to do everything you can to diminish the errors that you might make. Write the points on top of each other. -3, 1, 4, -1. This is my x value that I'm looking at. This is my y values that I'm looking at. What goes on top, x's or y's? What goes on top? Y's. Which y do you want to start with? It does not matter. +1. So I'm going to say 1 minus -1. Since I started with 1 on the top, what do I have to start with on the bottom? -3. -3 minus 4. What happens when I have minus a negative? It becomes a plus. So 1 plus 1 is 2. And then what's -3 minus 4? That's it. It's all they're asking for is the slope. What about here? Yes, sir. Yeah. So I'm going to write the 2 points on top of each other just to make my life a little easier. Minimize any mistakes I might make. Here's x and y. Which y do you guys want to start with? Okay, so 3 minus 0 on top. Then I have to start with what? -2 minus 1. What's 3 minus 0? 3. What's -2 minus 1? -3. So what does that simplify to? -1. Perfect. And then one more. We'll practice one more. Write the points on top of each other. -1, 4, and -1, 12. Here's my x. Here's my y. What do you guys want to start with? Okay, so 12 minus 4. Then what? -1 minus -1. What is 12 minus 4? 8. When I have minus a negative, this becomes a plus. What's -1 plus 1? 0, guys. 0 in the denominator. If you leave that as your answer, you're not going to get full credit. What is the answer to this? It's either undefined. You can write this. You can say none. Or you could write nope. whatever. Just let me know you guys understand that's not okay. What would happen if you came out with like x over negative 3? What's your answer there? 0. The number 0. Those are two different things. What kind of a line is it if you have a number 0 as your slope?
Horizontal.
Good. Horizontal. Awesome. What about if you have undefined? Vertical. Good. That's it, guys. That is your whole quiz in a nutshell. Super, super easy and straightforward.